Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to talk about this new instrument. It's a pCornet. It's a plastic instrument. It's become very common for the past couple of years. It's ideal for beginner and learner, especially for young children. They are picking up something quite light, something quite robust and cheap as well. So let's talk about a cornet. This is a traditional English cornet. It's different to a trumpet. The cornet's lead pipes wrap around like that and goes into the third valve here. Whereas a trumpet is different. It's a long lead pipe coming down and one bent coming to the third valve straight away. So this pCornet is a bit smaller, well, a lot smaller than a trumpet, but slightly bigger than a traditional cornet because of the different configuration of how it wraps around the instrument with the lead pipe, like here. So let's talk about the first impression. The first impression is not great. It's acceptable. It comes in the plastic bag. It does feel cheap, but I don't mind that because you save the cost on the packaging. If you put the money and investment in the quality of the instrument, that is all fine. So it comes in the plastic bag. It comes with a very smart black bag. It's not a hard case because this instrument is really light, so you don't really need a hard case to come with it. You can easily pop in the bag and wrapped up, and you're good to go. It comes with two mouthpieces, 2B and a 4B size. They're in the shape of Dennis wick that I have here. It's identical. I think they are actually Dennis wick make plastic mouthpiece. In terms of play quality, very little difference. It actually plays quite well. It also has the advantage of not having a cold bite when you first pick up a metal mouthpiece and you're in the cold weather. And you first put in your mouth is always chilled and you need to warm it up. First thing, of course, you check about the valves because the valves are the most important moving parts of the instrument. My first impression is they're very noisy. They seem to work fine. Okay, but I don't like noisy valves, but this is what it is. It says service free. You don't really need to clean it as often or oil it or lubricate it as often as a normal brass instrument or metal instrument. However, it's still very noisy. I put some valve oil into it already. It doesn't really improve the noise. It possibly made it a little bit smoother than when I first picked up. But I think it still needs time to wear in. The configuration is very intriguing. It's a new design. It comes with a whole block, so you need to kind of put a little bit of lubrication on it, and you slide the whole block back in, and there you go. The spring is very weak. That's my comment to it. It's very weak spring, so it doesn't have that pop feeling. I don't feel there's enough strength to pop the valve back. Well, you can see this is already not really working too well. So if with a stronger spring, I think it will be a big improvement. Second thing I found on this instrument is this lead pipe is not usual. I'll take the tuning slide out. So a normal, as I mentioned before, is a normal cornet who have a lead pipe comes around a bigger bend, so bigger radius, and come around like here and to the third valve. But for this pCornet, maybe due to manufacturing reason, they have to make up the length. It doesn't wrap around as a normal cornet, but they have to make up the length by doing tight turns, like an M shape, let's say, like an M shape. So you have upside down. You have one tight bend two tight bends, and the third tight bends coming up here and back to the third valve, which I think when I play it, when I actually blowing it quite hard, I can feel that resistance because it's very, very tight bent. That may be a pros and cons, I don't know. Like I feel it. I feel it's not as smooth. It's a feeling thing. So it's very subjective. The bore is quite big, so it takes a lot of air to actually blow the instrument. The bore meaning diameter, the diameter of the tube. So compared to a traditional cornet, you can see the lead pipe, the bore is very, very small at the beginning and start to open up towards the end of the bell. So apart from these two points that I made, the tight bend and the valve is a bit strange. It's still a working instrument, but having played on a brass instrument and moving to a plastic, it always feels a bit strange. And to be honest, the valve is, I think it can be better. It can be better. But I would definitely recommend for any beginner to learn the trumpet or the cornet, to learn how to play with ease, with worries free, because you don't really need to service it, as in you don't really lubricate too much. There's no corrosion issue because it's all plastic. And no tuning slide, no adjustment on the tuning slide. It's no finger ring like you see on the trumpet. The sound, I think, on a blind test, I think for listeners, you probably don't hear it, as in it just feels probably compatible to any brass instrument. But as a player that I play it, when I hear it from such a distance, I do feel a brass instrument is sharper and clearer, it has the brighter quality to it. And when I play it, it definitely suffers on lower tone. When you play on a lower tone, because of the lightweight, I guess, the resonance of the material, the quality on a lower tone is not as bodied to a metal instrument. One more comment that I have is when you see this shepherd's crook, they called it, you can see a joint here. So obviously this plastic is one piece, and then this bell part is another piece, and this is kind of glued together. But having this on the eye is not pleasing. It doesn't. I'm not saying it affects the quality of the tone that I play, but it's just saying seeing a joint is not as elegant. I would say it's not as elegant. I hope to see. I can play you a melody, and you can compare. I'll make your own judgment. I think the valve tends to stick when you play it, when the whole instrument is getting warmer, or material will expand, warmer or hotter. So when I play it for a while, maybe the hot air, the warm air that I blew into the instrument, it will affect the material, it will expand, and maybe it will get stuck because of that. So I definitely noticed the valve doesn't work too well when I play for, let's say, 5 minutes or so, when the instrument is starting to warm up. So if I use the same mouthpiece, play on a traditional cornet, lack of fullness compared to a heavier instrument. The resonance quality is not as good, of course, but you're talking about an 80-pound plastic instrument for young children to play with. Robust as it is, they can drop it, no worries. It's not going to dent. They might crack it, worst come to worst, but it's recycled plastic, it's very robust, weatherproof, no corrosion. It's noticeable that the ball is so big and it takes a lot of air to work it, so it makes you work harder. It's workable, it's functionable. Is it as elegant? I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so. But as I said, it's a perfect instrument for someone to have a go with as their first instrument, especially for young kids, because a cornet is shorter than a trumpet. A trumpet for my little one, it plays like that because the hands are so short, and then your bow is far away from your mouthpiece. So there you go, that is my review of this pCornet. It's an interesting one.